Good morning everyone. Welcome back to your English class. Today we will be continuing again with the lesson Grandfather Fish's Secret to a Long Life. Today's topic is connecting with the team. Now in our last class I taught you about the team. Today we will connect with it. That means in very simple words we will relate the theme which we learned last week to our lives. Okay, so today, the theme we will relate it to our own life, and we will be giving examples from our life. So in today's class I will give you an example from my life, whereas in your workbook you will be giving me an example from your life. Okay, so let's get started. Now so far, do you remember the theme of the lesson which we learned last week? Yes, you do, right? So the theme of the lesson was that we should listen to the advice of our elders. Grandfather Fish tells the little fish secrets to a long life. Okay, he tells him to remember his words, and if he remembers his words and if he follows them, then he would have a long life. But does the young fish do it? No, he does not listen to the advice of his grandfather, and that lands him into trouble and finally his death. So the theme of the lesson was that we should listen to the advice of our elders. Now today, using this theme, using the theme we should listen to the advice of our elders, we will be taking experiences from our own life. Okay, so over here I will be giving you experiences or examples from my life when I was a student. You will, when you do your worksheet, you will give me examples from your life. Okay, so we are going to connect with the theme by relating it with our daily life. Okay, so these examples are when I was a student. So the first one is, when have I spent all my time playing when I should have been working? Okay, when I should have been doing something, when was I not doing that and doing something else? So let me tell you, okay, when I was a student, I was also very naughty, okay, and I loved reading. Hardly when I was in class 4 or 5, my school opened a library and I became a very, very avid or a very voracious reader, okay, and I would take so many books and I would finish them, and then usually we could take only one book a week. So what I would do is I would tell my friends to take books and I would even read that. My friends would not read, but I would read it. Okay, so they would take it on their name, but I was doing the reading. And because of this habit, I started neglecting my studies. Okay, during study time also, I would have books reading. So my mom, she kept on telling me, okay, not to do it, but I sort of just stopped listening to her. Okay, so over here, this is my first example. Okay, before my test, I used to not study but read novels all the time. Okay, now this is just an example when I was a young student. So whenever I had tests, I would not bother about them, and I was more interested in reading the novels which I wanted to read. Okay, now did anyone warn me that I was making a mistake? Yes, my mother told me, like, if I continue this system, I would fail in my test. Okay, and it would take a toll even on my eyesight, because remember, when I was a young girl, of course we did have light, but sometimes electricity would go and I would read just with a candle, or sometimes everybody would be sleeping and I will be under the blanket reading, okay, with a small lamp or a very less light. So my mom told me that your eyesight is going to suffer in the long run, and I would fail in my test. Okay, and she even told me that reading is very good and she loves that I have this habit, but I should keep it as a second habit. Okay, not that where it would compromise on my studies. My studies came first, and then if I read in my free time, she had no problem. Okay, so she told me that I would fail in my test and my eyesight would become poor. Now, did I realize my mistake in time or only after I got into trouble? Now, luckily, I was not a very dull student. I was quite a good student. So, okay, I realized my mistake and I started studying before my test, which somehow, okay, I managed my test. I got good marks. But there was also a problem. My eyesight became so poor, okay, that I had to wear spectacles in the long run. Okay, so I did not fail in my test, but okay, my mistake of reading, okay, with very less light and reading too much, okay, it caused such a strain on my eyes that I landed up with very poor eyesight. Now, what was the result of my mistake? Now, this careless mistake of mine caused me, okay, I had to wear spectacles for 1 whole year. Okay, for 1 whole year I had to wear spectacles, and it was a time that I did not like. Now, what did I learn from this incident? When we are young, we're very headstrong, okay? If our parents tell us something, we do not listen, okay? But we always need to remember that our parents, they love and they care for us, okay? And we should listen to them. It is only for our good that they tell us whatever they tell us, okay? It's not that they are jealous of us or they do not want us to enjoy. It's just that they have already experienced everything and they know where we are going wrong, okay? So I realized my mistake, okay? And I realized that what my mother was trying to tell me is not to read too much, okay? Read in good light and not to neglect my studies, okay? And I started listening to her, okay? So this is what I learned. Now, this is just an example, okay? This experience is just an example from my life. Now, I want you to connect it with your life. You may also have something similar. You could have something different, okay? So when you read this question, read it and try to find out an answer related to your life, okay? So we will be doing just this topic for today. You do not need to do question number 2 today. We will do it at a later date, okay? So that's all for today. In case you have any doubts, feel free to give me a call or to message me, and I will be glad to help you. So bye-bye and have a fantastic day.